Hey, this is John Carlos, and I'm here with a look at the Funko Firefly Legacy Collection action figure of the hero of Canton, Jayne Cobb. This Jayne figure is interesting. It's got a few weird issues, the first of which is his elbow joints, which are perfectly sculpted to match the contours of his arms, so when they're straight they look good, but the second you bend them, you know, the rest of his arm kind of sticks out in this really unnatural way. It looks kind of wonky, so if you're planning on posing him with his arms bent in any way, just consider the fact that that joint will be sticking out, cutting through a big portion of his arm. Also, his head articulation is kind of weird. It could turn perfectly fine to the side left and right and that sort of thing, but his head is tilted downward, like his neck is pointing downward. But it'd be nice to be able to like bring his head, you know, up, and you can't because his hair really does stop it from moving. So if you don't want him looking downward, you don't really have any other options. But looking at his head though, you could see that it's a pretty good sculpt of a likeness of him. You know, the paint is a little simple around his goatee area, but it actually does look like you know, Adam Baldwin quite a bit. Eyes are good, eyebrows are good. The mouth, actually, even with that little line of paint, you can see the sculpt of it. It's a pretty strong mouth. They did a good job with his chin and everything. The hair is good. I think, you know, it's a fairly simple hair design to sculpt, but they did a good job with it. And like his big meaty neck too. The sculpt of this cut here does kind of make the shirt look kind of weird. I think this cut works great on other kind of outfits, but on a t-shirt it's a little weird looking. But he's got pretty strong shoulder ball joints, elbows you already saw, which do swivel. The mid-torso cut does move really well, as does his wrist, which includes its own little hinge. And I really like the wrist hinge. There is no waist cut, you get the torso instead, but the legs move good at the waist. You get the thigh cut, double knee joint with the clear. I wish they'd painted these clear things to match the pants. But on the other hand, it might get gunky if they painted them that way, because Funko's paint does get gunky with little things like that. They had a lot of problems with Series 1 of Game of Thrones Funko Legacy with gunky joints and paint, so maybe we're better off. And his boots look freaking awesome. I think they did a great job sculpting these. The buckles look good, the paint on them, the little dirt on the back. Really, really solid work on the paint and the dirtying up of these boots. Really well sculpted. I like the texture on the bottom as well. There's the forward hinge, and then the swivel as well. The swivel's a little tight on these, but the swivel is there. One thing is with the boot cut, with all these figures you'd think you'd be able to turn the feet left and right, but you have to rely on that thigh cut to get his feet to turn to the side. It'd be nicer if there was some sort of joint a little lower down. But man, some details on this are really good. The paint on the belt buckle, his knife holster, his gun holster, the dirtying of his pants. He's got a dirty butt. But the wrinkling, the sculpting of his pants, you know, the shirt's pretty simple, but the rest of them is really, really well done. And he comes with some really awesome accessories, including the best accessory. He comes with Vera. And man, they did a great job with this gun. The silver, the gold paint, the little gold on the back here. Really, really, really good sculpting, but it's highlighted by some really, really great paint. I think this is an awesome accessory. Also comes with his little pistol. And they did a good job with the metal paint on this one. And his knife. And what's cool about these is they do fit into their holsters and all that really well. Let's see if I can get that one in there. Just call me Mr. Butterfingers here. There we go. And there you go with that too. If you're a Firefly fan and you're into Jayne and you're thinking about getting this figure, I say go for it. I may have had some stipulations about the elbow joints and his head articulation, but I could still highly recommend this figure. I think it's a pretty good likeness. He looks really, really cool, and he comes with some awesome accessories. Probably some of the best accessories of all the figures in this series. And if you care, there is going to be another version of this figure coming out very soon, the Previews exclusive version that comes with his little wool knit hat. So if you care about his little cap and want that figure, be on the lookout for that at your like nerdy exclusive retailer shops. I like the fact they're doing a wool knit hat version. I hope they do more versions of this. You could do like a sleeveless version of him with the blue sun shirt. There's some fun variants you could do. I would probably line up for that, but this figure itself looks really, really cool. Thanks for watching.